The people that don't want to spend government money on anything, there's like the government should only spend money on providing Karens a safe space. This is Justin Kanu. I didn't know that Justin Kanu was the person behind Tennessee Holler. Great account to follow on I think on every social. But this guy right here that looks MAGA, looks pretty MAGA. Is the voice behind Tennessee Holler, and he's here on the Matt Murphy Show, which is a local show in Tennessee, talking specifically about how school choice affects regular schools, how it's specifically like fucking up every state that it's in. Every state where you're expanding school choice, the budgets are exploding and education rates are plummeting. This debate was a mismatch. And Matt Murphy does what every MAGA does because they don't actually have answers. Matt Murphy takes what anybody's saying, goes, oh, so you must just hate, or you must think everybody's dumb. You must think, won't address any of these concerns. But shout out to Tennessee Holler, who kept his cool this whole time while Matt Murphy was trying desperately to get him off his game and talk about partisan bullshit. And Tennessee Holler, one of my new not idols. Let's call it an idol. Sure, that's fine.
We're for more money going in and funding schools, absolutely. But what we're not for is taking money from public schools that are already struggling, taking money away and steering them to private schools, hurt the kids that are left behind.
Right, and that's not what the legislation
That is exactly what it does. And there's a reason that when that legislation passed, most Republicans didn't want it in their own counties, and it took bribery and threats from Glenn Cassida and military promotions being offered to people like John Mark Windle to get that passed, and he had to hold the board open because even Republicans didn't want it. And now what's going to happen this session is Rep. Mark White is going to try to push it to all 95 counties, which was what everybody warned about to begin with, and that's what's coming down the pike. So again, if you support public schools in Tennessee, and you don't want to see more money steered to private school vouchers away from your public school and your teacher or your kid goes to school.
If you don't want to have any choice, says Justin.
You're only thinking about a few kids. We're thinking about all kids.
I'm thinking about everybody. You're only thinking about your kids over there in Williamson County. That's fine.
No, we're thinking about kids in Murray County.
See how he wants to get away from that. The reason he wants to get away from that is if they even slide into the data, if they go look at Oklahoma, if they go look at Arizona, if they look what's happening in Idaho, you will see that poor schools are struggling. The overall rate of testing, literacy, math, English, science, those are plummeting. I live in Arizona where nobody has given more money to charter schools, and nobody has redirected federal money to charter schools more than Arizona. We're 50th. We're dead fucking last in education. And we weren't that great before, but we were like 40th. We're like a couple years in the high 30s. We weren't great before, but as soon as we switched to this charter school model, poof, went to absolute shit. This is happening all over the country where people are trying this. School choice gives rich people a better education and gives poor people a worse education and leaves the middle class kind of stuck. Like some of them can send their kids to a charter school, some cannot. And it now becomes the difference is like if you have money, your kids can have an education. If you don't have money, it's going to be significantly more difficult for your kids to get an education. And then, by the way, just add like the prestige of these schools, their ability to control their own testing, to control their own grades. So they might graduate people with a higher GPA. They might do things like they might have like SAT prep class or ACT prep classes that prepare kids to take these tests to help them get admissions into college. And because their parents might have disposable income, they have after school activities. And the school provides after school activities. And now you've built up this resume versus a kid who grows up in a poor neighborhood whose parents work and maybe they have to work all the way through high school. All they can afford to do is go to school and try their best. And they may not have parents at home to help them when they struggle. They certainly can't afford a tutor. It's a terrible decision across the board to do school choice. It hasn't worked anywhere. It's done the opposite of work everywhere it's gone, which is exactly why Republicans love it, because they're just like, we like anything that's different, even if it is worse. We just want everything different. Bobby G said FURTP. Tell Bobby to eat it. Bobby can eat it. Still mad. Stay mad, Bobby G. Stay mad.
And Perry County and Hawkins.
Are the people of
Are
the people of Tennessee good people?
There we go.
Yeah.
Then why did they elect such bad people?
I think they don't get the full story, and that's why the Holler exists.
Really? So you think that?
Boom. Are Tennessee people good people? Yeah. Why do they elect bad people? Because people like you, Matt Murphy, don't tell them the truth. And that's why the Holler exists. That's why the Holler is much bigger than the Matt Murphy show. Because the Holler cuts through shit. Like the Holler, we use the Holler multiple times a week. I cite Tennessee Holler multiple times a week. And you know why it started? This was just a dad. It was just a dad who wanted to advocate that we don't strip public schools of their money. That's how Tennessee Holler came to be.
Tennessee, the people of Tennessee are just too dumb to recognize who is acting in their best interest.
It just goes back to it. No, I said nobody told them. So they're too dumb, you said. No, nobody told them. By the way, if you don't read, like if you're not keeping up with legislation, you're not dumb, but you don't know. You know, if you're not reading the bills, if you're not fact checking what people say, that doesn't mean you're dumb. It means you don't know. You could be dumb too. You could be smart and not know. You could be a lot of different things and not know. But if you don't have the information, you don't know. And clearly that's what happens in Tennessee. Clearly that's what's happened in Arizona. The numbers, like they just don't check out. It's worse every time. Every time. And they're just like, we're going to keep doing it. Eventually it's going to work.
No, I don't think they're too dumb.
They've elected, but the people of Tennessee have elected a Republican supermajority.
Yes.
Right. Why? Why did they do that?
I think they only hear one side of the story.
So they're too dumb?
I think they only listen to 99.7. I think they only listen to Fox News.
They're listening to you. I'm asking
That's why I'm here. I hope they're listening to me.
So I'm asking you if the people of Tennessee are too dumb to realize that
he doesn't have anything. He's answered it 5 times. He literally has nothing. You have to say that the Tennessee people are too dumb because I don't have an answer for your question, sir. I know you've answered it 4 times, but I don't really know what to say. So I'm just going to keep leaning in and saying, are you saying they're dumb? No. By the way, you know who else probably doesn't know? Matt Murphy. But I would argue he might be too dumb.
I'm not saying the people of Tennessee are too dumb. No, I think they only get one side of the story, and that's why we exist as the Holler, to try to shed some light on what's really going on in Tennessee.
What parts of the story are they not getting?
I just told you.
With regard to,
okay,
I mean, let's set the education piece aside.
Thank you for asking. So we're at the bottom in poverty. We're at the bottom in infant maternal mortality. We're #1 in medical bankruptcies. Mm-hmm. We're at the bottom in per pupil spending. We're at the top in violent crime.
Then why did you move here?
See, we're not going to address anything ever. This is Republican 101. Like, just listen for something and be outraged. Well, why the fuck are you here then? I'm not going to address the fact that we're dog shit at everything there, that we've got poverty, that we've got rising crime. I'm not going to address any of that shit. Why'd you come here then?
What do you mean, why did I move here?
Why did you move here if we're at the bottom of all of this?
I just explained. You're just going to keep asking me that?
No. Didn't you do your research before you moved to Tennessee?
Those issues are not. I see the difference. I'm going to answer you.
Did they not exist before?
I'd like the audience to hear that you keep asking me questions and then interrupting me.
I'm not going to let you monologue.
The difference, you don't need to. The difference is that I don't only think about myself in Williamson County. Not every county is Williamson County. And when Governor Lee walks around this state talking about how great everybody's doing, talking about businesses, he's not thinking about everybody. He's not thinking about the impoverished places in the rural parts of the state. And so, yes, I'm not talking about Williamson County. Williamson County is doing great. If every county was Williamson County, we wouldn't be having these issues, but that's not the case. And so I don't only think about myself.
The reason I'm showing this all today is just consistently point out is that Republicans don't have answers, and just keep asking them questions. I don't think it's effective to engage in like whataboutism with Republicans. I don't think it's good to like engage in personalities like they're trying to do now. They literally don't have answers to this, and it's not because it's complicated. It's because nobody's giving them any answers. Nobody knows why Republicans are doing what they're doing, except for the people that are really in charge. And we know why they're doing it. Why do they want money out of schools? Well, because they want to make money on charter schools, and they want their kids to be able to learn just about Jesus and not have to learn about real history and not have to learn about people who have a different view on what morality is, or if it's okay to have different sexualities. That's what they really want. They just want a nice little cocoon for their children. And ironically, they're asking the government to provide that safe space for them. That's the ironic part. They're like, the people that don't want to spend government money on anything, there's like, the government should only spend money on providing Karens a safe space. And every day they just show up like, government, please, another handout for a safe space where we don't have to hear dissenting opinions. I did notice that Jeff, that those Republicans in the chat who I've asked to come up multiple times are still just going to sit in the chat, and it's because they also don't have answers to questions. They also can't explain any of this, and they would do exactly what Matt did. They would be like, they would just try and play whataboutism, and they would attack character because they don't have answers to this. And I don't know why it doesn't bother you guys that you don't have answers to this.